Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, that's better. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So, keep this in mind. We need to trim this, obviously, when it hits YouTube. We'll trim down this first part of you and I talking. And keep in mind that your video may or may not show up on the bottom right the whole time. I don't know
Okay.
how it works. So you'll probably be there the whole time.
Okay.
Okay, so
Are you gonna put your face in too?
you can't see my little picture?
No, you can't see. I can't see your picture or an icon or anything.
Oh, why did that happen? I don't. No. Let me go to settings. No camera phone. I guess not.
I
I,
saw Micah and Aaron's.
and mine was there too for a little bit, then it disappeared. Profile. Yeah. It shows me in the profile as in there with you. It's so weird. Okay, well I guess it's just gonna be what it is.
Okay.
All right, so let's let's start in three, two, one. Hey, Team Body Spartan, thanks so much for joining us tonight for our Coaches Success Guide. This is our first webinar for new coaches, and it is your keys to six-figure earnings with Team Body Spartan and Beachbody. Tonight, you have yours truly, Gabe Tuft, and also you have Priscilla Tuft presenting to you.
Hey guys.
So tonight what we're going to cover is the manual that each one of you has been sent via email. We're going to cover the 21-day Smart Start, weekly calls, and then the most important part, coaching success tips. So let's start with the Body Spartan Coaches Manual. The idea behind this manual is that it was going to be a consolidation of all the information Priscilla and I have been given by Lindsay Matway, who, if you don't know who that is one of the top earners in Beachbody. She's also one of the founders of the network marketing model. She gave us a ton of information, and we just consolidated it all into one manual to make it really easy for everybody to access. It takes all the guesswork out of opening different Word documents and puts it all into one place and basically eliminates the confusion. There are three steps that we want you to follow with this manual that will give you success. The very first step is to read the welcome message. The second step is to take an evening and read the Bombshell Dynasty Coaches Manual. And that's in Appendix B at the very back of the PDF. And Priscilla, what did it take us to do that? An evening?
Yeah, probably an evening.
So basically, guys, what it does is it covers all the basics for coaching, the back end, all the nitty gritty stuff that you need to know as a coach. Answers a lot of your questions and also will help you set up your Team Beachbody website, which is essential for moving forward. After that, we want you to read through the 21-day Smart Start and read each day one at a time. And what we're going to do with every one of the coaches that are watching this webinar right now is we're going to put you into a 21-day Smart Start Facebook group where we will take these posts and we will put them up one at a time, and we will literally run you through the Smart Start. And what that's going to do is going to allow you to follow along, gives you the opportunity to ask questions to the group, get advice from Priscilla and myself and others that have been through the entire starting process. It's really important as well that you complete each assignment and that you do exactly what the post suggests that you do. Okay, weekly calls. I'm going to turn this over to Priscilla.
These calls are incredible. Inviting with Purpose is one that every single new coach should definitely listen to. They are on Mondays at 8 a.m. You can listen to a replay all week long. This one in particular that you see on your screen is one that just dial it up. If you can get it this week, that's great. If you can't, go ahead and look in your back office, and there will be a link for you to get the information, and you just click on Inviting with Purpose. This girl, Janelle, is just a powerhouse, and just definitely something you want to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. These calls, we've found these calls to be incredibly valuable. I would go so far as to say invaluable. You can't put a price tag on how important these calls are. They are packed with information. There's something different every week, whether it's what products are on sale and give your prospects or challengers the best value for their money, to helping connect a challenger with the right product and how to lead them down the path to finding the right product. So again, these are invaluable calls. If you want to be successful as a Beachbody coach, you're going to want to listen to these calls. And if you can make it at 8 a.m., great. If you can't, call in or go online to the Coach Online office under News and Webcasts and Conference Calls, and you can listen to all of them. Also, what we're going to be doing is in your 21-day Smart Start group with Body Spartan, when we put you in this Facebook group, once a week, we're going to be doing a weekly call. And Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock is our tentative time. If it doesn't work for everybody in the group, we can adjust. But the goal is to go over any challenges you had during that week. If you had questions that weren't answered, we can go over them in the call. And we're also going to go over what you can expect the following week and how to address or even tackle early on what kind of things you might encounter with your Smart Start and how to properly handle it. And now on to the meat and potatoes. This is some really valuable information that we've learned from our own experience that we find that it's going to be really helpful to pass it on to you guys. So we're going to go over these 4 areas: starting, challenge group participants, connecting challengers to programs, and finally, organization. So moving along to starting, the keys to success. Guys, we want you to read and follow the 21-day Smart Start thoroughly. It's incredibly important that you don't skip through any material. You don't skim the material, but rather read it thoroughly. Take time. Dedicate a specific time during the day when you can read it and be completely focused. This is a blueprint for success given to us by Lindsay Matway. It is literally her formula that took her to be a top earner in the company. And if you follow it the way a construction worker would follow a blueprint for building a skyscraper, you know it's going to work and you know it's going to stand tall and you know you're going to have success.
And we happen to be living proof that it is incredibly effective. There were some things that we had questions about in the beginning. We're like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. But everything we had done in the past has never made us a 7-figure earner like Lindsay is. So we said, okay, we'll just go ahead and give it a shot. And in 5 days, we made a grand, and nothing has slowed down. We're still very new to this, but we have the entire manual for success. And so we're sharing it with you guys, and they're nuggets of gold. Take your time. Just bask every single day. Do what the day tells you that you should do. You know, that day 1, finish it. Watch the video in its entirety. Read every single word. Absorb it. Do the assignments that you need to be doing. If it asks you to write something down, do it entirely. Just exactly like she lines out, and it works. Don't ask me how, but it works. It's awesome.
All right. Oh yeah, one other thing, guys. I mentioned setting aside some time. Set aside an hour a day, or even in the evening time, whatever time you can carve out in your calendar to do it. Carve out an hour, and even though it may not take that long, at least you have that time set aside in case it does take a little bit of time. And what I found is that 9 out of 10 times, you're done fairly quickly. It's not a whole lot of time out of your day, but it's really important that you're focused. Okay, knowing the value of the program and knowing your own value is paramount to success. One of my favorite Bible verses is Luke 10:7. For the laborer is worthy of his wages. And that really means that you need to understand your value and understand that, yes, you are valuable and you are worth the money that you are going to be making. Knowing the value as a coach, you are a success story. You've done the program and you've been successful. And also, you care about the success of your challengers, which Priscilla and I have found to be incredible. Priscilla, maybe you could touch on that a little bit about the just caring about your challengers.
Well, I can't sell. That is not a gift of mine. But I can be in love with the product. I can care deeply for the people that are interested in getting fit and losing weight. And if I keep my focus there, the products just sell themselves. Um, Maybe you don't know the products completely. Learn about them, try them. You'll fall in love with them. Um, if you've done the program, you know that it's successful. But if you're going through the program for the first time, you can take a group of challengers with you. And the program is completely laid out, so it's not too difficult. But know that you are valuable, and what you're doing is meaningful to these people. They can go and buy the product, but having you as a coach is really the main value, the meat and potatoes of the program.
And also, guys, knowing the value of the program itself, well, first of all, they work. They're fantastic programs. They've been formulated by professional athletes with scientific backgrounds, nutrition plans that go with them. And if that isn't enough to convince your challenger, look at the thousands of testimonials that are online. If you want to know where to find them, just Google Beachbody testimonial. You will find a ton of them. They're in the Coach Online office. They're plastered all over the internet. There's no doubt that these programs work. And you being a success story yourself, you're a walking, talking testimonial of the value of the program.
A prime example is the group that I took through the Ultimate Reset the first time I had done it. And I was mind blown that I was able to lose more weight than I've ever lost in my entire life, become more shredded, actually lose every ounce of cellulite, and oh my gosh, here's a success story that I never even knew that existed. So trying the product has a lot to do with your ability to offer the product to somebody else with a little bit more gusto behind it because you believe that it's actually effective. Same thing with Shakeology. I was halfway through my pack of Shakeology and I looked down and I'm like, my six-pack's really ripped. It's kind of awesome. And that was the limiting factor. That's the only thing that I had changed in my nutrition plan or my workouts. So being the product, feeling the product, understanding that it works is a major, major selling point. We're not really selling, but it's a way to really give us some excitement about the product.
Exactly. So on to challenge group participants. The first key to success is going to be in day 6 of your Smart Start, and it's set the date for your challenge group and begin inviting. And day 4 of your Smart Start talks about how to talks about the invite process. Priscilla, maybe you can touch on this as well. I know this is one of your areas of expertise.
I feel that the seminar that we talked about, the phone call that we asked you to listen in on, is going to give you every tip that you need along with day 4. If you go step by step through the process of the 21-day Smart Start, it's going to give you every single tool that you need in order to invite people without them feeling like they're being sold to. We don't want to be the kind of people that others are hiding from because all we talk about is Beachbody. All we talk about is Beachbody. We want to be approachable because we're talking to human beings and we have a life outside of fitness. You know, fitness gives us a more valuable life and makes our life better, but that's not the only thing that's going on here. You're talking to people and you're creating relationships, and those relationships are creating bonds of people that trust you, and if they trust you, they're going to trust whatever you tell them is best for their weight loss goals.
Right. So again, Day 6 of your Smart Start, set the date for your challenge group and begin inviting. And for more information on that, listen in on that call and check out day 4 of your Smart Start. Crafting your challenge post. Uh, Smart Start Day 4 covers this in its entirety, but what we're going to do right now is just go over some of the bullet points that are really important. We definitely recommend that you read that day of the Smart Start just like you would any other. But again, it's so important that we feel like we need to kind of cover it here in this webinar so that you don't miss anything. Priscilla, go ahead. Priscilla, did you want to cover this section?
Oh yeah. So Smart Start, day 4 basically talks about um, creating your story for everybody to see. It talks about speaking from your heart and knowing your demographics so that you can really reach them on a more personal and individual level. It takes you through how to make your posts more visually appealing, how to use PicMonkey to make it look a little bit more professional and enticing, so that when somebody sees it on their news feed, that they're really attracted to your post above the other ones. Um, and it also shows you how to post your before and after pictures, because these products really do get results. So why not show everybody yours? I know it's kind of a little bit crazy at first, to just kind of put yourself out there and say, hey, guess what? Here's what I looked like 90 pounds ago. And maybe you're not ready to do that, but maybe you'll show them what you looked like 21 pounds ago. Or maybe you'll say, hey, this is me today. Watch me for the next 30 days. Come with me on my journey for the next 30 days. Let's find our own results. So it kind of takes you through all of that and how to position it in a way that is appealing to those that are following you on Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah, and one other thing that we find is really important that speak from the heart. One, you got to dig deep for that challenge post and pull on emotion. Find that thing, that pivotal moment in time when you decided to make a change in your life and you went from being whatever you were before to what you are now, and to find the reasons for that. Why did you really do that? Speak directly from your heart, pull it out, pull it from deep down inside, because people know when you're trying to sell something to them versus when you're really just telling the truth and pouring your heart out. And in your challenge post, you want to pour your heart out and you want to tell everybody, this is me. This is me uncovered. This is the truth, and I'm here to help you guys. This worked for me. I really want to pay it forward. I want to help you. And we're finding that's what works the best. Okay, some more success tips. How to increase the number of people in your challenge groups. Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is expand your network. And there are a couple ways to do that. One of them is in person. And the best way to do that is to just simply talk about the product with people that you encounter. Being careful, of course, not to just focus on Beachbody products or focus on the fact that you're a coach, but rather find a natural way to segue into it. When somebody asks you, hey, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, I'm doing great. I just started this brand new program, or I just finished this brand new program and I got these fantastic results. Just give them little bits and pieces and make them interested in it, so that you're not talking about yourself for 30 minutes, but it just becomes an organic part of the conversation. Other ways to increase your and expand your network are through Facebook and social media. Most of the bulk of your networking will be with Facebook and social media, and you'll be able to find people throughout social media. The Daily Power Hour is listed in the Smart Start. We're going to go over that later, but following that piece by piece will help you increase your Facebook and social media network so that you have more people in your network and more leads. Um, One thing people are not always familiar with is Facebook groups. And there are hundreds and thousands of Facebook groups out there. If you go in the Facebook search bar and you type in fitness group, there's going to be hundreds of groups that show up. And these are groups of people that have the same interest, and they can have anywhere from 2 to 10,000 people in them. And if you find a good fitness group, you can ask to join, and then you can start posting there, just answering people's questions, becoming kind of that subject matter expert, becoming the fitness expert in that group, and getting people to trust you and know you, and just understand who you are. And when the time is right, you send your challenge post out to that group, and that is an amazing way to garner a lot of attention really quick and ensure that your challenge group has enough people in it. If you belong to more than one group, let's say you had the luxury of joining 100 groups, you can use an online program called Hootsuite or Buffer, and you can post to multiple social accounts. It's cheap. It's like $10 a month. It's very user friendly. You can create one post, and at the push of a button, you can send it to all your different groups all at the same time. So if you need help, hit us up in the Facebook groups in your 21-day Smart Start, and we'll walk you through that.
And again, we're not looking to flood people with ads. What we're focused on is relationships and then opportunities to invite them to see what you're involved in. We don't just want to do ads on Facebook one after another, because that's not what people are going to latch on to.
Priscilla's absolutely right. Remember, we're not selling; we're building relationships here, and we're learning about people in these groups in your social network. We're connecting one on one. Social media isn't a billboard on a freeway. It's two friends, two neighbors talking over fence about everything that goes on in their day after work, and that's the kind of attitude that you want to have when you approach this. Moving on to connecting challengers to programs. There's a terminology called closing a challenge group prospect, but in reality, what we're doing is we're connecting a challenger to the program that's right for them. That's the way we really want to think about it. Smart Start Day 5 has fantastic information and a video that we highly recommend you watch. We had originally planned to put the video in this webinar, but I think it's just going to be, for the sake of time, if we pulled a couple of bullet points out of that. It's not a substitute for watching the video, but for the sake of the webinar, giving you guys little tidbits, I think it's really important. So when we watch this video from the Smart Start, here are the things that we came up with that we pulled from the video. You need to have a conversation before you give your prospective challenger a link. Don't just give it to it. Covet that link like it's, you're a leprechaun and it's a pot of gold. That's the last thing you want to give them. Instead, try to have them chomping at the bit before you give them that link. And how do you do that? Well, you breadcrumb the information. You tear off a little corner of your slice of bread and you feed it to them. And the way you do that is by asking questions about them instead of just saying, hey, do you want to join my challenge group, which will probably never happen because most likely they're responding to your challenge post. They're going to say, I'm interested. The next thing you could say is, great, fantastic. Tell me about your fitness goals. What are your goals? What are your health and fitness goals? And then from that, you can start pulling more and more information out of them. One other thing you want to avoid doing is telling them how much the package is right away, because a lot of times people don't fully understand the value of you as a coach or the program until you feed it to them. Like we discussed earlier, know the value of the program and know your value as a coach. And finally, segue into more questions. If they keep asking about the price, say, well, before I talk about that, let me find out more information about you. Let me find out, please tell me more information about yourself so I can just make sure this is right for you.
And it's not that we're trying to hide the price. We just want to make sure that we have completely built the value of the program before we give them, here's how much it is. And guess what? Here's why it's worth every single penny. So it's not that we're holding the information back. If they ask, answer them. But make sure that we have built enough quality in before we add the costs.
Absolutely. Great point. Some of the common challenge prospect responses we get is simply, I can't afford the program. And after running into a couple of those, one of the things we did is we drafted and crafted a blog on Body Spartan specifically about this, because we had a lot of people that stated, I just simply can't afford the program. Well, after doing a bunch of research, one of Priscilla's tactics was to say, okay, well, let's cut out my Starbucks for the month. And then I looked at it and said, okay, well, what about eating out too? The average American eats out so many times a month that it amasses to, I think, $230 or $240 a month on average throughout the nation. You throw in the Starbucks, and there's another almost $70 that on average people spend. So you're looking at $300 a month in eating out and Starbucks alone. for
And
that
how about
price.
all the junk food? How about all the junk food in the cabinets too? Think of the chips and the candy and stopping at the gas station and grabbing a candy bar and grabbing a soda. We're cleaning all that out of everybody's kitchens because we're going to get their life right. So without those added expenses, this is really an affordable program.
Absolutely. That's another fantastic point. All that junk food that's in their cabinet, they're not going to be buying it while they're on the program. And they're going to have to cut it out anyway. They're probably not going to be eating out because they're going to be doing their meal preps, and they're going to be having their food pre-prepared in Tupperware containers or however that specific Beachbody program tells them to do it. And if they're still having problems with it, then basically what I say is, okay, guys, do this. Stop eating out for a month. Stop going to Starbucks for a month and set that money aside. And next month, when we do another challenge group, you'll be ready to go. Help the prospect establish their why and their fears. Priscilla, you're really good at this. This is something that has to be handled with care, and
I just feel like the word prospect is like so far out there because these are people. These are people with lives. These are people that some of them just could arrive in their own skin because they are uncomfortable. And I have been there. 100 pounds ago, I was having doors shut in my face, and I was like, "What the heck?" And I remember the the agony of being trapped in a body that I didn't feel like I belonged in. And I think pulling that out of them and really helping them understand, okay, I'm sick and tired of this and I want things to change now. Okay, why? What is bothering you about feeling like you need to lose 90 pounds? Maybe I ask about medical conditions. Maybe I'm asking about, how does this affect your children? Are you able to, play with your kids? Does it affect, so you're really developing their reason why they want to get on a program. That's instantly building a relationship and it's building value in the program. So it's kind of two part, but you're being caring and you're listening and you're really getting inside their reasons. And it's a powerful self-development for both you and the challenger. Um, so we just wanted them to establish their whys and talk about any fears that they have about their if they're heavy or if maybe they just aren't living in a healthy way. Maybe they're not working out regularly. Maybe they're not eating right and they just feel a lack of energy. So build that value.
more on I can't afford the program. One of the things that we find is that people look at the cost of Shakeology and they just simply say, "Oh, it's too expensive. I don't want to pay for Shakeology." Well, the reality is it's only about $3.30 a shake, which is really close to the cost of an average meal that you would cook at home or make at home, and it's way cheaper than the cost
And
of
way
a
more
meal if you eat
nutritious.
out. What's that?
Oh, and I said, and it's way more nutritious. You're getting just loads of vitamins and minerals and natural fat burners. It's helping you repair your muscles. It's reducing sugar cravings. I don't even know why the ashwagandha works so well for me, but my stomach was jacked within a week. So there's a lot of different benefits. It also increases digestion, so things just feel like they're working better. You're absorbing more nutrients. So overall, this Shakeology is invaluable. I
Right.
didn't understand the value of the product of the shakes until I was using them for about a week, and I said, "Oh my goodness, I totally get why it is worth every single penny."
One thing that is really important to remember as well is that this isn't a protein shake. This isn't something a bodybuilder would use to get to the Olympia. It's a meal replacement. It's the equivalent of six salads stuffed into one shake. And there's a great insert in your Shakeology box when it comes that really describes the value of Shakeology. It talks about the amount of food that goes into one shake, superfoods that go into the one shake, the healthy ingredients that are in there, the cost of that, and how it's all broken down. There's the value of the shake is far above and beyond the $3.30 that they're actually paying for it. It's it's amazing, and if we can convey that to our challengers, they're going to be more likely to understand the value and be more likely to say, yes, I want to be part of your challenge group, and I am happy to to fulfill the requirement of having Shakeology shipped to me.
For more information on this, you can go to bodyspartan.com and click on shop and click on Shakeology. We've got videos there, lots more information. But seriously, you've got to try it for yourself because I wouldn't have believed it until I felt it and saw the changes in my body. It's pretty remarkable.
Yep, yeah, absolutely right. Again, bodyspartan.com. Mouse over the menu and shop and look for the Shakeology page. We've put a bunch of good information there for the challengers to read, but as well as the coaches, it'll help you. Okay, so finally, our last section tonight is organization. It's short and it's sweet, but it's really important. Start a lead list, guys and girls. Your lead list is your business. Without it, you don't have a business. Money comes from people, and you need to know who those people are. And you're going to miss opportunities if you don't have their name on a list. So every person you talk to Beachbody about, and even if you don't talk to Beachbody about, but you think that there may be some interest down the road, stick them on your lead list. Get their contact information. Get their Facebook username. Put that into a spreadsheet and note when you talk to them and when you think you should follow up. And that way, it's all cut and dry, and there's no you're not trying to file it away in the back of your head and go, oh yeah, I was supposed to talk to that person, and you forget. If they're not on the list, you're gonna forget about them. Look in day 19 of the Smart Start manual. There is an entire tutorial on how to start a Google Drive spreadsheet lead list, and it'll show you a template. And if you're not familiar with Google Drive, it is basically an Excel spreadsheet that's in the cloud. So you can access it from home while you're on the road on your laptop or from your cell phone, from your smartphone. You can make changes to it right then and there. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're at work or if you're on vacation, you can punch it in and you'll know exactly who your leads are. More on starting a lead list. The power of 5.
Go ahead and pop my slides up. So the Power Five is something that I started with. Baby, if you could put the slides down.
Oh, well,
Was
actually,
that
there
it for
are no
that
additional
page?
slides. Yeah. We're
Okay,
running
well
off. We're
then
running off the
I'll
power of your
shoot
memory.
from the hip for just a minute. So okay, the power of my memory. Let's see how this goes at 10 o'clock at night. I'm tired, mama. So the Power Five. I sit down and for 5 minutes, I just write down every single name that could possibly come to mind. I think of friends and family first. They are the most important because they're people that already trust you, and they're people that you care about more than anyone in the entire world. You want them to be healthy. You want them to be fit. The very first person on my list was absolutely my family and my best friends. Then I pop open my contacts in my phone and I started flipping through it, and people who I felt would either make good coaches or people that could be transformed by these programs. I started making lists. And then I went on Facebook, and then I went through my emails, and then I went through my Twitter, and started to create this list 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, you won't be done. There will still be more names. Continue that list. Continue. And I just wrote it down in black and white, old-fashioned way, pen, and got that list together. And I started to contact them and reach out to them just to reopen our relationship and say, how are you? How are your kids? How's that cat that you love so much? How's basketball going? You know, whatever it is, whatever that person is about, to strike up the relationship, just open the door, because a lot of those are going to turn into challengers in the future or coaches in the future.
Okay, great. So that's the power of, or the power 5. Last thing that we're going to talk about tonight is your daily to-do. There's a lot of information that we've given you tonight, and it can seem overwhelming, but in reality, when you have a to-do list and you follow that to-do list in a systematic order, it's going to be really quick and easy, and you're going to know exactly what to do, and you won't miss anything, and you won't feel overwhelmed. You'll feel, in fact, very satisfied when you're done with your to-do list and you've checked it off. You look at the time spent, and you'll know that it was worth something. So, day 11 of the Smart Start has what's called the Power Hour, and it's a list of items that you need to do every single day. And it's got to do with Facebook. It's got to do with connecting with friends, family, new relationships, old relationships. It's the whole 9 yards. But what we've done is we've printed out and we have taken a thumbtack and pushed it into the wall next to each of our computers. And we look at that every single day and we go through it just like you would with a checklist. And you just knock off every single line, put a check mark next to it if you have to, and print out a brand new one for the next day if you want, or just look at it and just go right down the line, systematically do exactly what it says. Again, guys, I want to remind you that this is the blueprint for success. This is the top earners' keys to success. And if you follow them, you will be successful. If you have a hard time figuring out that time slot, if it's going to vary day by day or you're just not sure when you should do it, carve out a slot when you know you can do it and use your phone or your Google Calendar to set a reminder. Set a reoccurring reminder every single day so that your smartphone that I know everybody holds in their hand half the day, so that it goes off. It buzzes you and says, hey, by the way, it's time to do Beachbody. That way you never miss a power hour and you're that much closer to being successful. Quick quote for you guys: organizing what you do before you do something. I'm sorry, organizing is what you do before you do something so that when you do it, it's not all mixed up. We want you to be organized. We want this to be as easy as possible for you and as simple as possible for you. All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Team Body Spartan. We're proud and honored to have you as our coaches. Keep an eye out in your emails and on Facebook. We're going to start that 21-day Smart Start very shortly for you, and we would love for you to be a part of it because success starts there.